All depends upon how you look at it, I guess. Hello everybody, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for hanging out today. I have this series that I do, well, not often, but just occasionally, and it's called It's on Sale, Should You Buy It? It's when I find interesting things that were really kind of stupidly expensive and they go on sale and I purchase them and then I try them out and I let you know whether it's even worth your time looking at. Today we're going to be talking about the Urban Decay Stone Vibes Vault, which literally I think just came out a couple of months ago. If that, correct me if I'm wrong, if you have an exact timeline, which you guys usually do because you're so much better than I at remembering things in general. I do know that this was very recent. I thought it was really interesting, but Urban Decay palettes are usually upwards of $50. And, you know, if I can get something on sale, I'm a cheapskate, I admit it, and I like to wait for that. So hence the reason I am pale as all heck today is because I just have on my foundation and I've tried desperately to cover the dark circles that plague me at the moment for lack of lots of sleep. But in here is going to be an eyeshadow palette, 4 eyeliners, 4 interesting colored lip glosses, and a very interesting looking highlighter. It's a very cute little PR box. It almost makes me feel like a real YouTuber. No, it doesn't. I bought it. On the back, they are showing you in color, which is nice, everything that you're going to be getting. This was, now I hope you're sitting down, please, originally $197.50. The 50 cents there is quite important, obviously. It is now currently on sale for $97.50 at both Sephora and Ulta. I purchased it during the $25 off of $75 promotion at Sephora. So this brought it down to, I believe, $70-something. The reason I purchased it at Sephora and not Ulta, which I had a 20% coupon for, is because at Sephora, when you break it down, it came to about, I don't know, 27 or 28%, something like that. So it was a slightly better deal than getting it off at Ulta. Ulta is also currently still having their 20% coupon. I believe you have to either got it in the mail and or email, so look out for that if you have it. And at the end, I'll tell you whether this whole thing is worth the actual $79 or so that I paid for it. When you open her up, it's very beautifully packaged. I mean, the appearance and the presentation are really, really nice. Obviously, it is based off of gemstones and the colors, and they did this packaging extremely well. It is a bit of a bulky palette, but if you look at the front, this is indeed all raised faux gemstones. The color of them that gives it that little holographic appearance is actually underneath. The little crystals on top here are not actually colored themselves. It's like a base, so it gives it that really pretty look. And then this is a plastic shielding over the marbleized gemstone holographic underneath. The rest of it is smooth. This is the only part that is textured and raised. This is a plastic component. It doesn't feel, to be honest with you, like it's the most expensive plastic packaging. But again, these are just the minor details that I thought you might want it to be interested in. It has a very nice mirror, which maybe I will utilize. It does come with a dual-ended brush, which many of their palettes do. They're nice. Unless I keep them in here, I would always forget to use them. The new thing that seems to be popular are these marbled shades. Now, I don't think, aside from being pretty to look at, I don't know if they're really doing much. I do think that each palette is going to be unique in that all of the shades are not always going to look the same, because you can't pour a shadow like this or press a shadow like this and have all of those spots and all of those things be ultimately the same. So everyone's going to get maybe different looks out of it. You're only getting 4 mattes in the palette. I will be swatching the whole palette for you before I do my eye look. Also getting a very prettily packaged highlighter here. This I found quite interesting. It comes in a metal tin. It almost looks like a color switch. This is raised here on top, the UD for Urban Decay. And that, my friends, is the highlighter. Interesting, I know. Looks like a stalagmite. Just saying. If I hold it like this, it'll be a stalactite. All depends upon how you look at it, I guess. Again, we are going to do swatches when it comes that time. You're also getting 4 of their 24/7 Glide on eye pencils. These I have used several of them before. I finished several of them. I just finished another one up. It was down to this and it was just too annoying to use. I like them very much. I like that they are in pretty cool colors. I don't know if I'm going to use all of them today, obviously, but they are really pretty. And then these very interesting lip glosses. I absolutely love. Oh, you know what I just noticed? This is foam here, so it's easy to get the products out. It's squishy. I know. Simple things. So they did a very nice job on the packaging, making them look like little crystals or gemstones. And they're tiny, which I really don't mind because, you know what? With the amount of makeup I have, what are the chances that I finish stuff unless I use it every day? That's why I've been doing my shop mustache thing. So we're going to play with those. They're in interesting colors. I'm hoping that they're not going to be so opaque that, you know, I'm going to have this bright purple lipstick. Of course, the only place I'm going to be wearing them is here. Whatever makeup I have to apply that doesn't apply to this kit, I will be doing off camera. I will list all of the products that I used below, hopefully. Don't count on it. So these are the 4 matte shades. This one isn't quite matte. It has a little bit of sheen to it. So we have Good Karma, Antidote, Hexed, and Third Eye. Next we have Jade, Opal Aura, Tiger's Eye, and Good Vibes. These, I think, are going to be the real stars of the show. The mattes didn't swatch overly well, but again, as I've learned from past experience, that the swatches neither mean a good palette or a bad palette, but these were very soft and wonderful texture to swatch. I can't wait to see how they go on the eyes. And now for the top row, we have Bloodstone, Ojo, Raw Energy, and Meditate. Bloodstone has that typical shiftiness to it. Do you like my balancing act here? That's going to be a very pretty topper, I think. Now, if you look, you can see how the pretty little pattern has started to become smushed. That is just typical and what's going to happen as you go into those shadows. I'll be curious to see how they apply with a brush as compared to your finger. I do have to go out, so I'm not going to be too adventurous as far as doing different looks on the eyes, but I do want to try finger versus brush because I know that's something that, at least for me, it's important. I think it is to you guys as well. Of course, I'm going to begin with the Good Karma all over and up to my brow bone. I am going to try this brush, and of course, I'm going to use my color switch. I have my other brushes. I won't be talking about them too much because I don't want this video to be too long. They are quite powdery, and I am not using primer because some people do not like to use primer, so I want to be conscious of that as well. And can my under eyes look any drier than they possibly are right now? I shouldn't say that because, well, me. Obviously, that is an unremarkable color on the eyes. It just gave a, you know, nice little base, a white wash of color. That's completely what I expect out of it. I am now going to use the same brush. I'm now taking Antidote. Another shade that's fairly unremarkable. Honestly, I've had palettes with colors such as this that have gone on a little bit more pigmented, but it did accomplish my main goal, which was to just give a nice wash of transition color. There's no real blending issues. This brush is incredibly soft, and I really enjoy using it so far. We'll see how it works for more precision and detail. I'm going to try using, once again, the same brush, and I want to use a crease color, and I'm going into Hexed. Now, if the shadow was super pigmented, one tap would have deposited the color, and I would have been able to blend. It didn't have that effect as much, but again, that's okay. Not everyone likes that much pigment in their eyeshadows. They want it to be easier to work with. Okay, so as I said, it's not very, very pigmented, but it's not patchy and it blended out very, very nicely. It's a nice wash of color, no problem blending it. The only thing I'm seeing with these shadows is they're not going to stack or build together. I'm going to have to go back in with that lighter peach shade to add the effect that I'm looking for. But this is my problem eye, so if it goes on this eye okay, then I have confidence that it's going to go on this eye the same way. So let me go do that. One thing I can say about these is I'm noticing, although it takes a little bit of effort, they build up very nicely because I just kept going back in and adding, and it's not blending away, so I think it's really good. I do have to now go back into this peach shade, as I mentioned, which is called Antidote, and now add that to here to add that color back and also just blend out any edges that I might have. So I wish this was just a little bit more pigmented so I could get some more of that peach effect up top, but honestly, do I think anyone would notice? No. I'm going to add Third Eye in my corner before I go in with one of these cool shades, and it's going to be very hard for me to decide which one to use. Now, Third Eye picked up very, very lightly on the brush. Let's see how it goes on my eye. Now this is another color that is light when you first put it on, but it is quite buildable. Again, it took about 5 dips into the pan, but this has a very light sheen to it, which actually is really quite pretty. It's not something that I don't like in my crease because I've put it there to deepen it up. I always have to add a deep shade in like this V over here for my hooded eyes, because if I just put a dark color on the lid and don't bring it up, then it just makes my eyes look more hooded. I've totally got my dad watching Hallmark movies, Christmas movies. He'll never admit that. But at least he's not watching the usual violent ones with the cursing and the murdering that I usually have to alert you to that it's not actually occurring. Now, of course, the hard part of choosing which color I want to use. I think I have to use Raw Energy because it is that purpley swirly. This eye I'm going to do with my finger. Okay, so these shadows, it appears, at least this one, doesn't like to be by itself. I think it wants to have a shadow base because with my finger it's going on extremely like a topper. I mean, it's definitely showing up, it just wasn't what I expected. Okay, now if you look, it's completely buildable because I just went in a few times and it's not getting that crepey look either. It's just really quite pretty. Let me try the other side with a brush. I'm again going to use this brush. Okay, it doesn't like this brush. Let me try a different one. Okay, it really doesn't like a brush. I'm going to have to go in with my finger, so that's something to note. Now, unfortunately, as I'm swirling my finger in here, it's getting that topper hard pan feeling to it, but let's see if it affects the shadow. Okay, it didn't really affect the performance of the shadow, but again, it took quite a bit to go in and build that up. I'm going to take Coral Aura and try to add that more in the center, not the center, the inner part of my lid. See, now this one is so much more intense. Okay, so at least for those two shadows, this one is way more intense initially, and this one acted more as a topper. I'm thinking this one's going to be more as a topper as well, and I want to try that right in the center of my lid. Yeah, because it's kind of got that shifty color to it. Well, I can say one thing, no fallout. I want to try putting just a little bit of that Oral Aura up here, maybe too much, we'll see. It's actually not. Well, I think that's where I'm going to stop with the eyes for the moment. Let's get into the eyeliners, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on the palette when I am done, at least for a first impression. You have these 4 eyeliners in various colors, no black, so I'm not actually going to use black today. Starting from the bottom, we have High Vibes. Next one from the bottom is Tiger's Eye. Next one is a goldish color. It's called Reflect. And of course, the one on the top, which will be my favorite, is called Raw Energy. Now, these are all for metallic shades. Now, I personally would most definitely use a black eyeliner. I may just do that. I am going to try these in my waterline, and I may try one on the lid as well. I'm going to put the purple on my bottom waterline. That just enhances exactly how tired and red my eyes are at the moment. This olivey green, I don't know why I want to use it, but I do. So I'm going to try it on my top waterline. Okay, it's not dark enough for me to give my upper waterline any drama whatsoever. Now I just added this gold one to my lid, but unfortunately it's not really having any kind of an impact, I think, because of the intense of the shadow on my lid. So I think these are really meant for if you're just doing something more simple or your waterline. Let me go do the rest of my eyes off camera, bronzer and blush on, and then I'm going to come back and we will try the other products. Okay, so I am back. I finished off my eyes and I'm really quite happy with the way it turned out. I did wind up adding the black liner on my upper waterline, which is just something that I'm pretty much accustomed to. Now let's get into the highlighter, which is it's just so interesting. Let me swatch this for you. Okay, one of the stalactites already broke off. She's extremely gold and hello. That's on the bold side for sure. It is quite glittery, so this is going to be interesting. I'm going to use my Wet n Wild brush. It picks up quite well, but you can see the glitter. Okay, it is basically straight up glitter, which I'm not minding, and it's not streaky. It is just kind of melding into my skin with just like a glitteriness. I'm going to try a different brush and see how it picks up with it. Just a more traditional highlighter brush. Okay, it's really not as intense as I thought it was going to be considering the swatch. I mean, can you see it? I can't see it in the viewfinder. I see it in the mirror, I said, but it's not extremely intense. It's glittery, but not streaky. So it's still kind of subtle if you like glitter subtleness, if that makes any sense. I can see it a little bit now when I look in the viewfinder. I don't mind glittery cheeks, so I'm not minding it. I don't know if this is going to be for everyone. It's very cute. It's very unique. I dropped another stalactite, and those are going to break off very, very easily. Yeah, it's definitely not a scene from space type of highlighter, even though it looks like it would be. Maybe if I used my finger, let's see what happens if I use my finger, because why not? Okay, with your finger, all it does is just deposit more glitter on your face. So be wary of that. Now let's try the lip glosses. Even with a magnifying glass, I cannot read the names. I had to go to the box, but this one is called Meteorite. It is a purpley blue shift. That is Meteorite. It's very, very sheer, so I'm not worried. I think it's going to be best on top of a lipstick. This one's called Power High. It is an orangey, sparkly, shimmery color, and it's a lot more pigmented than the Meteorite is. This one is called Light. It's also quite sheer. And this last one is called Vibes, also quite sheer. I'm going to try them all as lip swatches as well for you. This is Vibes. They have a very silicone-y slip to them. Very pretty, not over the top, quite subtle if you wanted to wear it by itself. The glitter sticks around. Just a forewarning. This is Light. Also very pretty. Remember, the glitter from the other one was there already. This is called Power High. This is the most pigmented and shows up the most. It's quite pretty. I happen to like these types of things, so this one is the Mercury RX. It does show up as like that bluish purple, and if you're liking that thing, because it's sheer, I actually don't mind it very much, but I think my favorite for like some color is definitely this one. So let's go over the products and let you know what I think about it. The palette is very user-friendly in my opinion. If you have a deeper skin tone than me, please let me know what you think about the 4 matte colors and if they would work for you. I am very excited to try the other shades, especially this green one. It's very interesting to me. So, but for my first impression of the palette, I'm happy with the look that I got. As I said, it's user-friendly. It doesn't have that intense pigmentation that can sometimes get overwhelming as far as having to blend, but you do have to build up the shades. So if you don't mind that, it's a palette that I can see myself using. The liners are nice. I really do love this formula. I'm not overly thrilled with the colors because they're not as pigmented as I think they should be. I think mattes would have been better than having the glittery shades, especially for your waterline. So that's just my take on those. I could have done without these, honestly, because I already have a purple, but it's not a glittery purple. So they're nice. I'm happy to have gotten them all included in the kit for the price that I paid, but they're just okay to me. The highlighter, I personally don't see myself using very often. It's that glitter. I may use it on camera a lot. I can see if you wanted to splatter this all over your body, that would be a look for sure. I think the packaging and the concept of it are absolutely adorable. I love that aspect of it. I wish it was more of a less glittery and more your traditional highlighter that I think appeals to the majority of people. The lip glosses are nice. I wish I was wearing my lip products more often. The colors were an interesting choice. I would have loved if they had done 2 sparkly and 2 mattes, or a liquid lipstick and 2 sparklies. Again, that's just my opinion. I see where they went with it because of the, you know, stone vibes and that whole sparkly thing like that, but sometimes it's too much. The size of them is great. I love the little baby size. I don't like this little handle. It's very difficult to hold onto when you are putting on your gloss, especially because it is a mini. That is my only critique about the packaging. Other than that, it is super cute. If I'm wearing lipstick around the house, which I don't know why I would, but just in case I am, I would use these. I think they're okay. So what is my overall thoughts about this entire package? $197. I'm so glad I didn't pay that. I'm so glad I didn't pay the $97.50. I don't think at the full price that this was worth it whatsoever. At the $70-something, I'm happy that I have it. I probably would have been very content just getting the palette. And they even have the mini Stone Vibes palette, which I think is maybe a mascara, and I will link it below as well. But that's $24.50. It was $50. And it's the mini Stone Vibes palette and a couple of other products. That might be something to look into. I personally would have been extremely happy if I'd just picked up the palette. I don't know if the palette itself is on sale. I will check. If it is, I'm going to link that below as well. But these are just my thoughts and my experiences. Now, I would really like to know your thoughts because some of you may enjoy the more metallic liners or the more metallic lip glosses, and you may want to rock that glitter highlight. This is just my opinions, which is why I love doing this, because then I can listen to your opinions, which are always most valuable to me. I appreciate you guys so very much for taking the time to watch this video and giving your input and giving your thoughts. You are, as always, amazingly wonderful people, and I love you tremendously. And of course, my friends, whatever part of this world you're in or around, I hope you're having an amazing day, an amazing week coming up. I will see you really, really soon. Have a fabulous rest of the day. Bye.